Well, good morning. Good to see you guys there. Yeah, you kind of caught me here. This would be the part in the service where I would welcome you to Kids Corner, where we come to the corner of the stage to learn about God. But I'm just going to be honest with you. This week was rough. You know, I got so frustrated this week. I got so upset and on edge. I said I'm done with it. I'm going to go fishing. Right, that's what you do, right? When you're upset, things aren't going well. You fish, though I'm not quite sure why I'm doing it because I'm really no good at this. But, hey, I'm fishing. You know, it seems to me like I read about something similar to this in the Bible once. Jesus' friend Peter, after Jesus died and came back to life, he kind of found himself in a similar position. He was frustrated. Things weren't going the way he kind of thought. He'd seen Jesus twice now, but you see, Jesus and him hadn't really talked about how Peter denied him 3 times before the rooster crowed. You remember that part? Well, one day he's with these buddies, right? There's about 6 other of his friends with him. And he kind of did what I did. He said, look, I'm going fishing. My good buddies, they said, hey, I'm up for that. So they went fishing with him. But so often how it is when we try to handle things on our own, feelings like that, we don't do it in the right way, it doesn't always work out the way we think it will, right? And so he's out on the water, he's fishing all night, doesn't catch a thing. Now, let me remind you who Peter is, right? You guys know Peter. He was a fisherman before Jesus found him. That's what he did. He owned a couple boats. They would go out, they would go fishing, and they would do that for a living. And he was good at it. But this night, he catches nothing. Let me share with you out of the book of John, chapter 21, what happens after that, because it's amazing. It says here, starting in verse 4, just as day was breaking, Jesus stood on the shore. Yet the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. And Jesus said to them, children, do you have any fish? They answered him, no. And he said to them, cast the net on the right side of the boat, and you will find some. So they threw it out there. And now they were unable to haul it in because the quantity of fish was too great. That disciple whom Jesus loved therefore said to Peter, it's the Lord. And when Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on his outer garment, for he had stripped off his outer shirt so that he could work. And he threw himself into the sea. The other disciples came to the boat, dragging the net full of fish, for they were not that far offshore, just about 100 yards. And when they got out on land, they saw a charcoal fire in place, with fish laid out on it and bread. And Jesus said to them, bring some of the fish that you have just caught. Makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, here Peter is. He's out there fishing, and he doesn't catch a thing. Whoa, wait a minute. I got a bite. I got a bite. Oh, no. It wasn't anything. I didn't have my hook in the water. Man, I knew I did something wrong when I tried to cast this out. Let's do this the right way this time. Okay, let me see here. Okay, there it goes. There it goes. Now we got it out there. So, Peter did like I did. He didn't catch anything. But then Jesus shows up. And Jesus kind of shows him a couple of strategies of how to deal when we're feeling out of control. Maybe this next week or maybe this last week, you're like me. And being at home, not having a regular routine, not being able to go to school, be with your friends, play on the playground, maybe it's been hard. But there's 2 strategies we see here for you guys to use this week. One is we just need to remember who Jesus is, right? Do you remember the first time Jesus met Peter? Peter was out fishing all night and didn't catch anything. And Jesus shows up on the shore that morning, gets in his boat, preaches from it for a while, and then he says, hey, Peter, put your boat out and put the nets down on the right side. Sound familiar? You see, when he did that, he was reminding Peter, I'm Jesus and I'm in control even when it doesn't seem like I could be. He was in control of the fish, and he's in control of what's going on in your life right now. We just got to remember who he is. The second strategy is this. We have to bring a little bit of ourselves. Jesus had the fire and some fish already laid out, and what does he say to him? Bring some of the fish you just caught. So you and I this week, we got to decide what we're going to do, and then we got to do it. Am I going to listen to Jesus? Am I going to trust him? Am I going to put my faith in him like we've talked about over the last few weeks? Do I know that that tomb's empty and he's still there loving me? Absolutely. It's really cool because after those two strategies, he goes on and he tells them a little bit more. But I'm going to hold on to that for another day. But right now, I just want you to remember, if you're feeling frustrated, don't let it get to you. Remember that Jesus loves you. Remember who he is. And remember that you get to decide, I'm going to trust him. Oh, I think I got one this time. Oh, yeah, it's a big one. Oh, you know, I'm really hoping I did not hook Pastor Andy again. He is going to be so mad. Hey, while I try to get this fish, check out what Logan has to say about the announcements.
Well, good morning, church.